can maintain its frequency. Okay. So how the speed governor operates, how the speed governor works, we have discussed. And actually somebody is trying, but what I should do from next day, I shall not be allowing anybody coming after the scheduled time. Okay, this I shall have to do because it cannot be limited, actually extended uh, after a certain time. Okay, so this is the, so since there is a gap of perhaps 2 weeks gap is there, because of some reason I could not attend the class, and also I could not take classes. So the gap was created. Perhaps it is almost 15 days gap. So I shall be briefly discussing what I have done, what I have discussed in our last class. So that was basically the functioning of the speed governing mechanism. Okay, in the speed governing mechanism, you can give an input through the speed changer. Why it is called a speed changer, I have already explained, because whenever you are either increasing the output of the generator by giving a command or reducing the output of a generator, what you have to do basically, because of your control command, the generator momentarily will try to increase or decrease its speed. Okay, so basically you are giving a power increase command. So you are basically, your particularly your action will try to increase the speed of the generator. You are say giving a power decrease command. Because of your action, because of your command, the speed of the generator momentarily will be decreasing. Okay, but at steady state again the speed will be restored. That is different issue. But because of your action, there will be a change in the speed. That's why this is called the speed changer. So through this speed changer, you can give a power increase command or power decrease command. As you are giving a power increase or decrease command, system frequency will change. Okay, so generator speed will change, and as a result, the change in frequency or change in speed will be actually sensed by these fly balls here, fly ball speed governor. And as a result, because of the tension on the spring, the point B will either increase or will either come down or will go up. Okay, so that is another input to the speed governing system. So in the speed governing system, basically there are two inputs. We may give two inputs, one by the external user, external operator, and the other by the system itself, by the generator itself. That means the speed governor itself, it is sensing the speed. That means from the feedback part, that model we have developed, you see, that we have written the expressions and mathematical model has been developed finally. This is the mathematical model of the speed governing mechanism. So input is through speed changer, either a power increase or power decrease command through delta PC, transform of which is delta PCS. We are giving as the transform of PC, that means we are taking Laplace transform because in control system analysis, what we do, we generally actually represent components by their transfer function, and the transfer function is obtained by taking the Laplace transform of the functions. That's why this is the we are taking the Laplace transform here. So delta PC is the transform of power increase command, and because of the command given here, the generator speed is changing, and that change in speed is sensed by the fly balls speed governing system. They may sense the change in speed, and accordingly another input comes, and that input is delta F. That means the speed changes, frequency changes. Not only that, whenever there is a change in the loading of the system, say you are connecting some load or disconnecting some load, then also the frequency will change. Why the frequency changes in response to change in load, that we have discussed in the beginning of this course. Okay, so that is another input, and that input obviously is coming from the feedback part. This obviously is the feedback part of the speed governing mechanism. Okay, so this model has been developed. Kg by plus 1 plus stg is the transfer function of the speed governing mechanism, and the output of the speed governing system is delta xc. change in the opening of the steam valve. And here it is delta XCS means transform of the change in the valve opening. Okay. Now, what we have done now, we shall be incorporating, we shall be adding the turbine along with the speed governor. That also we have discussed. The turbine may be represented by the first order transfer function like this, Kt by 1 plus STT. Okay, Kt by 1 plus STT is the representation of the turbine. Okay, this turbine we are representing with the help of a first order transfer function. It is the uh, gain of the turbine, and Tt is the time constant of the turbine. Delta Xc, it is the delta Xcs. Actually, it will be delta Xcs, not delta Xc. Delta Xcs is the input. That means opening of the change in the opening of the steam valve, and delta Pgs is the change in the power output. Okay, this is the change. Delta Pg means change in the power output. Basically, this is the change in the power output from the turbine or power input to the generator. If we assume that generator is 100% efficient, then we can say that this also is the power output of the generator. Okay, but so far we have not represented the generator. So this basically is the power output of the turbine. Okay, what is the time? Generally, what is the value of Tt, time constant of the turbine, of the order of 0.2 to 2 seconds. Let me see who is there. 0.2 to 2 seconds. Okay, like that. But this is a as already we have mentioned that this is a simplified representation of the turbine, because in this analysis we are actually avoiding any complexity in order to make the analysis simple. Our idea here is to understand the mechanism of the speed control process, frequency control process of the our system. That's why we are not unnecessarily making things complicated. By using a simplified representation, what we are doing, the basic functioning of the, that means you can see the turbine, boiler, this we are including. Okay, but any effort to increase the efficiency of the or thermal efficiency of the steam generation system, that we are neglecting here, because that will introduce a level of complexity. What is the level of complexity added by that steam generation process? To see that, let us consider this one. So you know that the steam generation system, basically the boiler, turbine, etc. What is there? The turbine is having a different section. Maybe there is a high pressure section, maybe there a low pressure section, and sometimes there will be intermediate pressure section. What happens? From the turbine or from the boiler, steam enters into the turbine first, and this is the superheated steam. Superheated steam enters into the turbine, so it expands in the turbines and does some work, and then that expanded steam, since it is doing some work, it is losing some heat. So it is sent back to the boiler again, where it is sent back to the reheater section of the boiler. What is the function of the reheater? Reheater basically are pipes, reheater basically are tubes through which steam passes, and outside the reheater is the passage of the flue gas. So flue gas from the furnace, it is moving through the different section of the furnace, and ultimately it goes out to the atmosphere to the chimney. Okay, in that passage of the flue gas, there is reheater. There is that is also economizer, different section of the boiler. There is air preheater. All these things perhaps were discussed in your earlier classes somewhere. It has been discussed. Okay, so the purpose of this reheater is to extract some more heat from the flue gas, so that the thermal efficiency may be improved. What is the advantage of increasing the thermal efficiency? Advantage is that we can reduce the cost of generation, because if we exploit or if we utilize more heat, then obviously the fuel cost will be reduced. So main purpose is to improve the efficiency of the steam generation process. Okay. So that section, this reheater section, for the time being, we shall be avoiding. We shall be neglecting. Why shall we neglecting? Because our intention is to make the analysis simple. But if you want to include the reheater, then the total representation of this turbine will be like this. This is the representing the transfer function of the turbine. It is Kt into 1 plus S Kr into Tr, Kr being the that gain of the reheater, Tr is the time constant of the reheater, then divided by 1 plus S into Tt. Tt is the time constant of turbine, and Tt is the time constant of the sorry turbine. That means if we consider the superheater section only, and this is for the reheater also. Okay, so this is the uh, complexity. If you ignore reheater, then this will be the representation. If you consider the reheater, then this will be the representation. Obviously, this will be the transfer function. Input remains delta xcs, output remains delta pts. Okay. This we have discussed perhaps, and then what we have done, then we have considered two operation of the this total process. Total, that means governor as well as turbine. So this is the combined representation of the governor and turbine. This delta PCS part of the governor, then delta FS obviously part of the governor. One upon R, R is the regulation of the governor. We have defined previously, but I shall explain it again because of the gap here. Then this block representing the product of the transfer function of governor and turbine. 1 by 1 plus STT is the turbine transfer function of the turbine. Then 1 by 1 plus STG is the transfer function of the governor. Previously, obviously, it was kg, kt, and kg were here, but we are not writing it at this location. Okay, because we have shown that the product of kg and kt has to be set equal to 1. Okay, and delta pgs, this is the output of the uh, turbine, this process, governor turbine, this combination. So we have considered two action, two extreme situation. One is the generator connected to infinite bus. When the generator is connected to infinite bus, it implies that the frequency of this generator cannot be changed. So for that situation, delta f is obviously is 0. Then what we have done, we have written a relation between the input and output of this system, turbine governor system. Output we have written delta pgs as kgkt divided by 1 plus stg, 1 plus stt into delta pcs. Okay. Then what we have done, we have considered the we have seen that delta fs is 0 because the generator is connected to infinite bus, and we have given a power increase command. Since we have given a power increase command, basically the input here is a step input. Why it is a step input? Because generator is delivering a certain amount of power. Now you want to increase the power output, so obviously you are giving a command that will increase the power output of the generator by a certain magnitude. Means the input is steps, suddenly there is a change in the output, this is desired. So Laplace transform of the power increase command delta PCS, because this is a step input, obviously will be delta PC. It is the magnitude of power increase you want, or power increase command divided by S. So using this is the expression for delta PGS. Simply you have put the value of delta PCS in the expression for delta PGS. So this is the expression. Now we have given a power increase command, so we want to see how much is the power output finally at steady state. When the steady state will be reached, what will be the power output of the generator? That is delta pg stat. Delta pg stat here implies that this is the power output at the steady state condition. That's why static condition means steady state condition. That's why stat is written here. How to find out this steady state value? This is through the final value theorem. What is the final value theorem? You have to take the value of S times delta PGS and take the value of this for S tending towards 0. So S will be tending towards 0, multiply this by S, this will 2 will be cancelled out, and if you put S 0, then obviously it will be kg kt times delta Pc. That means steady state value of delta Pg will be kg kt into delta Pc. When this is the steady state value, this is the steady state value of power increase. When this power increase takes place, when you are giving a command equal to delta Pc. So if you give a power increase command of delta Pc, obviously your expectation will be that output change also will be delta Pc. It is not to be multiplied by something which is more than 1, or not to be multiplied by something which is less than 1. Since I have given a power increase command of delta Pc, say 20 megawatt, I want that power output also will increase by 20 megawatt. So it implies that kg/kT, this product has to be set equal to 1. So that's why you have to put kg/kT equal to 1. Why we are putting this means obviously you have to design the system such that the product of the gain of the governor and turbine together becomes equal to 1. So this basically is a design problem. Okay. So system manufacturer, they will actually design their system, develop their system, manufacture their systems finally such that this product becomes equal to 1. So when this becomes equal to 1, is your delta Pg static, delta Pg at steady state condition, power increase at the steady state condition becomes equal to the delta Pc. That means power increase command. So how much is the power output increases? It is equal to the command given to the speed changer of the speed governing mechanism. Okay, so this was one extreme operating condition we have discussed. Then another extreme operating condition we have discussed like this. It was generator was not connected to infinite bus. Generator is not connected to any system. Rather, it is connected to terminal load. Obviously, previously it was connected to a very large system. That's why it was considered to be an infinite bus. Now it is being connected to terminal load only. Okay, when connected to terminal load, obviously now you can again write the relation between input and output terminal load, keeping delta PCS unchanged. That means you are no longer giving any increase or decrease command to the generator through the speed changer operation. Okay, that is not done. So delta PCS it becomes 0. When delta PCS becomes 0 and you have connected the generator to a terminal load. So let us now find out the relation between the power output of the generator and the change in the frequency. Why we are relating this to? Because if you connect some load at the terminal of the generator, then obviously power output of the generator will increase. As the power output increases, obviously there will be a change in frequency. So we want to see how much the frequency changes if some loads are connected at the output of the generator and we do not give any power increase or power decrease command. This is the operating condition. So under this condition, let us write relation between delta PGS and delta FS. That is done here. So relation between delta PGS and delta FS is like this. It is previously kg/kT. This product was made equal to 1, and accordingly the system was designed. So it is minus del Fs by R. Del Fs is the change Laplace transform of change in frequency. R is the governor regulation. That one actually there are some K2, K3 this type of things are there. Replacing those things, perhaps K2, K3 by K4, we have written R. Okay. So what is the meaning of R? What is the physical significance of R? That we have explained. I shall be still explaining it today. Okay. Somewhat because there was a gap. So this is the relation minus del Fs by R into 1 by 1 plus STT 1 plus STG 1 plus STT. Now, if you write the expression for del Fs in terms of del PGS, then it is del Fs equal to minus R 1 plus STG 1 plus STT into delta PGS. Let us now consider that you have connected a load at the terminal of the generator. Assume that generator initially was unloaded. Okay, generator was unloaded, not supplying any power. It was running, supplying no load. Now a load equal to the say full capacity of the generator has been connected at the terminal of the generator. This is the assumed situation. Obviously, you may connect any load, but we are assuming that the load that is connected is equal to the power rating of the generator is equal to the capacity of the generator. Then what happens? We shall be interested to see how much the frequency changes under this condition. Why you are interested to see how much the frequency changes? Because now the governor has been connected with the generator. Okay, so any change in the speed of the generator obviously will be regulated by the speed governor. We want to see how much the governor regulates that. What is the capability of the governor to regulate the speed, to regulate the frequency? That is what we want to do, want to know. Okay. So now with this intention, let us find out the value of del Fs when delta Pg changes. Delta Pg, when the delta Pg will be changing? When you connect some load. So assume that load that has been connected is delta Pg S, transform of delta Pg. Okay, how much the power will increase? Because if some load is connected, obviously generator has to deliver that power. Otherwise, where from the load will get the power? So when you connect some load at the terminal of the generator, obviously generator output will increase. And how much will be? It will be increased. Say that is given by delta Pg stat. Then this much will be the increase in power output. So if this is the power in output, okay, if is the output increase, then what is the transform of that? Will be del Pg stat by S. So if this is the increase in power output from the generator, then what is the change in the speed? Del Fs, change in the frequency. You put the value of delta Pgs in the expression for del Fs, then this is the value. Okay. If this is the value, let us now find out the steady state value of change in frequency, because it indicates that there will be some change in frequency. Since you have connected the generator uh, with some load, as the load is changed, obviously there will be some change in frequency. How much will be the change in frequency at steady state? To represent that it is the steady state change in frequency, we are writing delta F small, delta F stat. Means during static condition, during steady state condition, how much is the change in frequency? That again can be determined by using the final value theorem, though there is some mistake in writing. Some, not mistake, means this is some error rather. So it will be limit s tending towards 0, s delta Fs. So again you multiply this by s and put s tending towards 0. So this s is s and s here will be cancelled out, and if s is made 0, finally it becomes del F stat equal to how much? It is equal to minus r into delta Pg stat, minus r into delta Pg stat, and del F stat by delta Pg stat. Now we can write it minus r minus r. So if you write the unit, what will be the unit of this R? It will be, for frequency it is hertz, for megawatt, for power it will be megawatt. So much of hertz per megawatt. So if, what does it imply? It implies that if there is a positive value of delta Pg stat, means the generator was initially supplying zero power output. Now a load is connected such the generator is delivering power. So power increase or output increases. Delta Pg has in positive value. Then delta F, change in frequency, will have negative value because of minus sign. How much the frequency will change? It will be R hertz per megawatt. R hertz per megawatt. Or obviously, if you want to calculate the frequency, you can calculate as del F stat will be equal to minus R into delta Pg, value of delta Pg. Okay. So if we increase the power output equal to the capacity of the generator, say full capacity of the generator, why you want to do that? Because that will give us the definition of regulation. Definition of regulation. Because how the regulation is defined, how the speed regulation is defined, how the voltage regulation is defined. Whenever we define regulation, we actually mention the change between no load and full load condition. So here also, to define the governor regulation, we shall be defining it in terms of change in frequency between no load and full load condition. So generator as if was delivering no load condition, now it is delivering a load equal to the full load capacity. So how much will be the change in frequency? It will be minus R into capacity of the generator. Okay. Generally, it is customary to represent this regulation by means of this regulation as percentage, or this is called therefore called the percentage regulation. Okay. What is the typical value of this regulation? It may be 3%, 4%, 5% like this. It means that if the power output of the generator is changed from no load to full load, that means if the generator output changes by 100%, what is the percentage change in frequency? Regulation definition of regulation is if the generator output changes by 100%, what will be the percentage change in the frequency? Obviously, this percentage change with respect to the nominal value of frequency is equal to the declared value of frequency. Okay. So for our system, we can say therefore that that nominal value of frequency, say that is here, it is 100% frequency. Let us say and say we want that what is the defined frequency? Say this is the frequency at full load condition. Say it is 100% frequency. Now, say generator was so arranged that it will be delivering full load frequency, delivering the rated frequency at full load condition. So at zero load, okay, or at full load, it will be frequency will be here. At no load condition, frequency will be here, and in between how the frequency will follow, that will be following this relation. Del F by del Pg is minus R. That means the droop, okay, obviously the drooping characteristics depending because it is declining, frequency is decreasing as the loading increases. Okay, frequency decreases as the load increases. So this is you can see the drooping characteristics. So that's why you see that frequency will be following this line here. So this line represents therefore the characteristics of the speed governor. Basically, this represents the characteristics of the speed governor. Speed governor means it represents how the frequency will be changed if the output of the generator is changed. So this is the slope representing that. Means if the generator was operating, say, or generator were operating at no load condition, assuming that it will be the generator is having a, or the governor is having a regulation equal to 4%. So frequency at that case will be 104% of the nominal value. But if the output increases and becomes 100%, then frequency becomes also 100% here. Okay. So it is zero of the load condition, it is 100% of the frequency, and this is the delta F. And this delta F is from no load to full load. 4% of nominal frequency is the change in frequency. Okay. Obviously, this value of R, it is a design parameter, it will be constant. So, assuming that generator is uh, so arranged that it is operation is so set that at 100% output at full load capacity frequency will be nominal frequency, that is 100% frequency. At no load, if the load is disconnected, that means when load becomes zero, frequency will rise. It will jump up to 104% of the nominal frequency. Okay. If the generator were operating at 50 hertz, at 50%, it is so said that during 50% of load, it will be delivering nominal frequency. It can be said the governor is such that you can set the operating frequency to be 100% at any desired loading condition. So if the desired loading condition is 100%, then at full load condition, frequency will be here. At no load condition, frequency will be here. If the desired operating condition is such that at 50% of the load, frequency will be nominal condition load. Frequency will be the nominal value. Then when this load is thrown off, then obviously frequency will be 102% because the load has been halved. Okay, you see that regulation becomes same because the slope remains same. Regulation becomes same. Why the regulation will remain same? Because regulation basically is a design parameter. It cannot be changed. What you can change? You can change the operating frequency, and that you can set as any desired loading condition. Okay, so for this speed governor, therefore, you see that you can set the desired, you can set at what frequency generator will be, uh, at what load the generator will be delivering nominal frequency. Okay, at what load the frequency will be the nominal value. So at 100% load frequency is nominal value in the first, in this characteristics. Here at the 50% of the loading, the frequency is nominal value. So assuming that at 100% loading, frequency will be the nominal value, then if you disconnect load, then how the frequency will be changing? It will be changing following this line. Okay, say initially it is 100% load, then frequency will be here. Say if you disconnect load, somehow it becomes 50% here, 50% here, then obviously frequency will be here, like that. Okay, so in this way, basically the governor regulation, now you see that it basically determines what will be the, okay, change in frequency if the loading of the generator changes. What is the role of governor in this case? Governor role is to regulate the frequency, is to restrict the frequency variation to a limited value. Okay. Had the governor been not present here, what would have happened? Frequency variation would have been much more. That we shall see later on. We shall consider some examples that there we can see that if the governor were not there, the frequency variation would have been much larger. Now, what is the role of governor? Governor is restricting the variation in frequency. Governor is reducing the variation of frequency. This is the purpose of the speed governor. Okay. But obviously, speed governor cannot reduce the frequency variation to zero. Why it cannot reduce the frequency variation to zero? Because of this nature of the loop, because of the nature of the characteristics. This is the characteristics of the speed governor. Del F by del Pg is minus R. This implies that governor cannot make the frequency variation zero. Okay. If the frequency variation has to be made equal to zero, that has to be done by some other means. What is that means? We shall explain. We shall discuss that later on. But governor on its own cannot do this. Okay. So this particular mode of operation, say we have not changed the position of the speed changer. We have changed the load, and governor has done some function. What function the governor has done? It has changed the opening of the steam valve. Otherwise, how could it supply this load? Because initially it was delivering no load. Now, when the load is connected, governor on its own, because of the variation in frequency, because of the variation in speed of the generator, governor on its own is changing the opening of the steam valve. That's why more steam is now entering into the turbine, and as a result, governor is delivering more power. Okay, so by this action or through this action, governor is actually regulating the speed, regulating the frequency of the generator. Okay, this particular mode of operation, that is when we do not change the position of the speed changer, and governor on its own is controlling the speed, controlling the frequency. This particular mode of operation is known as free governor mode of operation. Okay, this is important. Free governor mode of operation. Yeah, actually, sometimes you have heard about this free governor mode of operation. One, you have heard this actually last year during the when the corona started during last May. There was a the program as announced by the Prime Minister then. That so we have to disconnect load, and simply there was so they called it Diya Jalao program. Okay, at that time there was a planned reduction of system load, and that reduction was very large. During that time, if some of you have noticed, perhaps maybe that there was some discussion regarding whether what will happen to the grid at that time, what will happen to the power system. Means grid means this power system. Will the system? There was some question that question was raised by the actually the electricity minister, power minister of Maharashtra. There, will the grid be able to sustain this load change? Why this doubt was raised? Because some years ago, say in 2012, because of sudden disconnection of load, there was a disaster on our system. The system collapsed, or total system collapse. It lost stability. Okay, so citing that example, the power minister of Maharashtra then he raised this doubt that perhaps again a disaster will be appearing to the system, and then the system engineer, particularly the power grid people or say power minister, they have responded to this, and there was some discussion. Some engineer, those who actually had planned the situation, had controlled the system, they have mentioned regarding the free governor mode of operation. Then the generator were allowed to operate on their own. Generator were actually operated in free governor mode. Okay, so what is that free governor mode? This is this free governor mode. That is, you will not be controlling anything at the input of the generator. Who will be controlling? The generator themselves will control. Generator cannot control. Basically, the speed governors connected with the generators will be controlled. Why or how they will be controlling? They will be controlling using the free governor mode of operation. That means they will sense the variation in frequency, and accordingly they themselves will arrange the opening of the steam valve, will alter the opening of the steam valve. This particular changing the opening of the steam valve in this way is called it is through the throttling operation of the turbine. Okay, also perhaps you have heard it, throttling operation of the turbine, where the turbine valve opening is actually changed by this mechanism, which is called the throttling operation. So therefore, basically, this is that fleet governor mode of operation. What I want to explain here is that the regulation of the governor basically means the range through which the frequency will be allowed to change. Okay, governor is in operation, and governor is acting on its own, and governor is actually then regulating the frequency. It is not allowing the frequency to decrease to a very low value. It is by some way, okay, on its own, it is restricting the variation in frequency, variation in speed, and that's why now this variation, you can say it is the regulated frequency now, and it is being maintained by the governor itself. So this is what we wanted to discuss here. Basically, the definition of the regulation, governor regulation, what does it mean? It means how much the frequency will change when the output of the generator is changed by 100%. It is customary to represent this regulation as percentage or sometimes in per unit also. Okay, people most of the times they will actually define this regulation, express this regulation in percentage. Say it is 4%, 3%, 5%. What does it mean? If it is a 3%, it means that if the output is changed by 100%, frequency will change by 3%. If it is 5%, it means that if the power output of the generator is changed by 5%, sorry, 100%, frequency will vary by 5%. This type of things. Okay. So with this, we have completed the discussion of governor and turbine together. Why this discussion is made? Because this discussion actually is revealing two very important aspects. What are these two important aspects? One is the definition of this regulation, governor regulation, and then also that free governor mode of operation that I have discussed. And then another was how the system will behave, how the generator is will be behaving if it is connected to an infinite bus. Again, I shall mention that infinite bus basically is a theoretical concept. No system is or no system can be represented as infinite bus. So it is a theoretical situation. Why we are discussing about this theoretical situation? Because we want to see the behavior of the generator. So therefore we assume that generator is connected to so large a system that that system's capacity is almost infinite with respect to the capacity of the generator. Means that system is a very large capacity. Okay, so when this is done, when the generator is connected to such a big system, then what will happen? Then if you change the if you give a power increase command, then there will be a corresponding increase in the power output of the generator. So these are the two issues we have mentioned here. Okay, now we have to represent other things because in the speed governing system there are governor, there are turbine, also there is the generator itself. It has to be represented, and also there are loads connected with the generator. So load has certain response to frequency that has to be represented. Generator will respond to frequency change or load change that also has to be represented. So far we have not represented that. Okay, now let us consider the generator first. Okay, generator. So generator basically are the generator that we shall be discussing in respect of frequency control are the corresponding to the old power system, means the where the generators are synchronous generators. Till now, almost 80% of the generation is from synchronous generator, and 20% is the remaining from solar PV cells and wind turbines. Okay, so it is 80% is coming from synchronous generators. So our discussion therefore will be regarding that synchronous generator. And synchronous generator is having a rotor. This rotor is having some weight. That means rotor is having some inertia. Why we are talking about this inertia? Because when the generator rotor rotates, then it can store a certain amount of kinetic energy. When the generator rotates, because the rotor is having inertia, because the generator is having a weight, having a mass rather. So what happens? Because of the rotation of that mass, it will actually store or it will be able to store some energy. This energy is very important. The stored energy, kinetic energy stored is very important in respect of the frequency control of the power system. Why it is important? Because this is the energy that will be supplying power immediately to the load when load is directly connected to the generator out. Okay, where from the generator will be giving power. It is stored in the rotor of the generator as the kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy initially is actually uh, being delivered to the load outside, and this is how the load when it is connected to the generator terminal immediately gets power, and as a result generator rotor speed is reduced. So the rotor speed decreases, so generator rotor delivers some energy to the outside load. So this is therefore the resource from where the newly connected load is getting power from the generator. So that's why in the frequency control analysis or in the process of frequency control, this inertia is very important, and the generator basically will be modeled through this inertia. Okay, so for frequency control, generator basically is modeled by means of its inertia. So how that inertia is represented in the nameplate of the generator, they actually the manufacturers actually be given the gives the inertia manufacturers they give the inertia information as h constant h stored kinetic energy at rated speed divided by the machine rating. This is the definition of inertia constant. So it is the stored kinetic energy at rated speed divided by machine rating, machine capacity. This is how the inertia constant is defined. So when this inertia constant will be defined, and if the inertia constant is known, you can immediately calculate what is the stored kinetic energy, because it is stored kinetic energy divided by power rating of the machine. Okay, so if you know H, if you know the capacity, you can calculate what is WK0. WK0 means stored kinetic energy at nominal condition. Nominal speed means synchronous speed, rated speed. Okay. So knowing H, you can calculate WK0 as H into PR. PR we assume is the capacity of the generator. Okay. Power capacity of the generator. H is the inertia constant. Obviously, if generator is rated as in kilowatt, then this energy will be kilowatt second, and obviously unit of H will be kilowatt second per kVA. Kilowatt second per kVA. This is how H is unit of H is defined. Okay. Now we shall be actually developing a model of the generator using its inertia, and in which context we shall be utilizing this model. In that context when the frequency of the system will vary. So therefore, it is important to us to know what will be the kinetic energy stored in the generator rotor at any speed other than synchronous. At synchronous speed, this is the kinetic energy, Wk is 0. Okay, at any other speed, what will be the kinetic energy? Obviously, this may be written in terms of the kinetic energy at rated speed. How? It is Wk is 0 into F0 plus delta F by F0 square. Why we can write in this way? Because kinetic energy, you know that it is proportional to the square of frequency or square of speed, half I omega square. Okay, half I omega square. So omega means the basically the angular frequency. So in square of frequency or square of speed, this is how stored kinetic energy is related with the frequency. Okay, therefore at any other speed, Wk will be Wk is 0 into current speed or current frequency, which is a rated frequency plus change in frequency. So this is current frequency divided by rated frequency square. Okay, I think this is clear. Is it clear to you that WKE at any other speed equal to WKE0 at rated speed into F0 plus delta F. F0 plus delta F is the frequency at any operating condition divided by nominal frequency square. So now Wk is 0, put the value of Wk is 0, that is H into PR, H into PR, and this may be written as 1 plus delta F by F0 square, 1 plus delta F by F0 square. If you expand, it will 1 plus 2 delta F by F0 plus delta F by F0 square. That means delta F square by F0 square. Okay. Now, you see that here, while expanding this is approximately obviously, when expanding this, we have not written del f square here, plus del f square by f0 square would have been written. But we have omitted that. Why we have omitted that? Because you know that when load changes, when the power output changes, then what happens? The frequency will change. Now, this change in load may give rise to two types of problem in the power system. One is the frequency control problem, another is the problem of stability. Okay, for the frequency control problem, the change in frequency or change in speed has to be very small. If it is a large change in frequency or large change in speed, then you can no longer maintain the frequency of the generator. Rather, it will be a problem of maintaining the stability. Okay, it will be a problem of maintaining the stability. Generally, when you change the load of the system, then frequency variation is small. When suddenly there is some fault in the system, then a large change in power takes place. Okay, under that condition, the problem becomes the problem of maintaining the stability, not for the problem of maintaining the speed or frequency. Okay, so in the frequency control analysis, we shall be assuming that ours is a situation where the load changes are very small, so that this will be a problem of maintaining the frequency. So if this is a problem of maintaining the frequency, obviously delta f will be very small. And if delta f is very small, obviously delta f by f0 square of this will be very, very small, will be negligible, because delta will be only very small divided by nominal frequency. It is already very small, and square of that is still small. That's why we can ignore the square of delta f term. That's why this has been ignored here. Is it clear? Is it clear to everybody? Would you understand why we have written in this way? Could everybody understand?
Yes.
Is it clear? Either you say yes or no. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
you could understand. Okay. So WKE now may be written as H times PR, H times PR coming from this one, WKE0 into 1 plus 2 delta F by F0. Okay. Now, using this is the model of the, we are developing the model of the generator in respect of frequency control. Obviously, the model will depend upon the purpose for which you are developing the model. In respect of frequency control, we are representing the generator using its inertia constant and frequency. Okay. Now we shall be later on writing the power balance equation of the system, because ultimately the frequency is a problem of maintaining the power balance. Because initially, when we have discussed the causes of variation in frequency, we have mentioned that the unbalance between the active power demand and active power generation is the reason for frequency variation. So we shall be writing the expression for, we shall be writing the power balance equation of the system. So since we shall be writing the power balance equation, let us now write the or represent the generator in terms of power equation. Okay, so it is W kinetic energy, it is energy. So if you want to write in terms of power, then we have to take the derivative of this. So that's why ddt of Wk, but basically therefore it will be the power. ddt of Wk means the energy, how the energy is changed, how the stored kinetic energy is changing. That means how the power is being delivered from the stored kinetic energy. That is equal to, again you take the derivative on this side. So 2h, obviously one will go out because you are taking the derivative. It will be 2h_PR into d dt of del f. So it is 2h_PR by f0. It is coming out into d dt of delta f. Okay, so d dt of Wke equal to 2h_PR by f0 into d dt of delta f. Delta f means change in frequency. So these therefore will be the our desired model to represent the uh, generator. Obviously later on we shall obtain the transfer function of this also. We shall take the Laplace transform of this also as well. Okay. So this is therefore our desired model for generator, including the generator inertia and change in frequency. Okay. Is it clear how the generator has to be modeled? Is it clear? Any question up to this? If some of you are or anybody of you are having any question, you can ask that. I shall explain that, and otherwise I shall be moving forward. Okay, any question? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay. Then now come here. Here we shall be representing the load. Load will be represented. How the load will be represented? What is the, we shall be representing the frequency response of the load. Okay. For that, let us define a term called B. B is del PD del F. This is called the load damping or sometimes frequency characteristics of the load. B is del PD del F. What does it mean? how the demand changes if the frequency varies. That is important to us in respect of frequency control. What we want to see, what we want to know, the behavior of the load, how the load behaves if the frequency is varied. This obviously will representing the load. How the demand of the load varies if the frequency is varied. So that may be represented as del PD del F. That means the variation of demand of the load, variation of demand made by the connected load when the frequency is varied. Obviously, this is variation in demand is megawatt, variation in frequency is hertz. So megawatt per hertz. So we are defining therefore that means load will be represented by its response to frequency variation as B equal to del PD del F, and this B will be, sometimes it is called load damping, also it is called the frequency characteristics of the load. Okay, so this is known to us. We know this. Obviously, how this can be known? This can be known by measuring the response of the load. Okay. If you have a load, you see how the load demand varies if you change the supply frequency. That has to be measured, and that will represent the uh, behavior of the load. Okay. Now with this representation of the load, let us now write the power equation of the total system. Power balance equation of the total power system. Okay, so our frequency control now will be starting from here. Frequency control analysis, you can see that. So far, we have model individual component, we have model governor, we have model turbine, we have model generator, we have model load. Now, everything will be compounded here, everything will be actually included here, and we shall be writing this power balance equation first. What is the power balance equation? Let us assume that we had a system of we had a power system where the demand was say, PD as the response to this. The generation was PG, frequency was say, F0, and obviously generation was PG, load was PD. We shall be neglecting any losses in the system because there is no scope to represent the loss. So we know the demand, we know the generation, we know the frequency. What and if the system is at steady state, obviously PG will be equal to PD. Power demand is equal to power generation. And as if there is no loss, or if we want to represent the loss, then you see that basically PD includes the losses as well. Okay, because total demand loss also is a kind of demand to the generation. Okay, so in that way, demand includes loss as well. So delta so PG was equal to PD. Now assume that there is a change in demand. You have connected some load, or somebody has disconnected some load like that. So some load has been switched on. How much is the load switched on? The delta P is the change in load. Okay, in response to it, obviously the generator will be increasing its power output. Okay, and we shall be writing the generalized equation, the equation that will be actually valid during dynamic condition and also during static condition. So since we are intended to write the equation, write the expression that will be valid during dynamic condition as well, so it may so happen that the generation or the increase in generation because of the increase in demand will not be in full agreement with the demand. That means delta Pg will not be equal to delta Pg. Okay, there may be some difference. Obviously, there will be some difference, and finally, they may be equal. Okay, so there is some difference. Delta Pg is the power increase in response to delta Pd increase in demand, and let us assume that delta Pg is greater than delta Pd. Okay, delta Pg is greater than delta Pd. So increase in generation is more than increase in demand. So if it is true if delta Pg exceeds delta Pd, where this additional power will go? That means power supplied by the generation is more than power supplied by the generator is more than power increased by the load. Okay, so if the power generation exceeds the power demand, where this excess power will go? Obviously, this excess power will increase the speed of the generator, increase the frequency of the generator. If the frequency of the generator increases, then what will happen? This will be the power that will be consumed by the generator itself. As the generator is increasing its frequency or increasing its speed, obviously there will be more kinetic energy stored in its rotor. So a part of this excess power will be actually going to increase the kinetic energy of the generator, and this is the rate at which the power will be actually consumed by the generator itself to increase its kinetic energy. So a part of this excess power will go here to HPR by F0 ddt of delta F. This is a power, a part of this excess power. And because of change in frequency, because of increase in frequency, what happened at the same time? At the same time, load also will increase its power demand. Or we can say that if we know the value of B, load will consume more power. How much more power it will consume? It will be B into delta F, because B we have defined as del P del F. So it will consume B times delta F. So delta Pg minus delta F, this is the excess generation. It will go to increase the kinetic energy of the generator plus increase the consumption of the load, B delta F. So we can say that during dynamic condition, when the generator increases its power output in response to increase in power demand, then this represents the total power balance equation. Now tell me whether this expression is completely clear to you or not, because this is the basis of all the following explanation, following derivation. So is it clear or not? This power balance equation, is it clear or not? Could you understand this? Is it clear to you?
Yes. Sir, here we are considering del PG greater than del PD. Why, sir, we consider reverse also?
Ah, say del PD is no, we are considering delta PG is greater than delta PD. In the reverse also may be true. Delta PG is less than delta PD. It may be true also. In that case, if it is less than delta PG is less than delta PD, then what will happen? There is more demand than generation. Then as a result, what will happen? There will be reduction in frequency. If there is a reduction in frequency, then what will happen? The generator rotor will release some kinetic energy. Is not it? It will release some kinetic energy,
Yes,
and
sir.
the load also will consume less power. Load
Yes.
also will consume less power. So it is valid on both the ways. If delta Pg is greater than delta Pd, then it is valid. If delta Pg is less than delta Pd, then also the same thing is valid, because then frequency will decrease. Because of reduction in frequency, the existing load will consume somewhat less power. Okay, somewhat less power. How much less? B delta F. This is the reduction in demand of the existing load, and this is the energy, or this is the power rather released by the generator. How? Because the generator rotor is now rotating at a at a lesser speed. Why lesser speed? Because generator could not increase its output to match the increase in demand. So output is less, demand is more. Obviously, frequency will decrease, and because of decrease in frequency, because of reduction in frequency, the kinetic energy stored in the generator will decrease. As a result, generator will be delivering power from its stored kinetic energy. So on both way it is valid. So now could you explain, could you understand this relation?
Yes.
What about others? What about others? Your name? Who has responded? What is your name?
Sir Arijit Pal.
Arijit Pal. Most of the times, Paresh, I am hearing your voice, na. But what about others? Why others are not responding? What about Soham Chatterjee? Soham, could you understand? Soham Chatterjee, could you understand? Soham? Perhaps Soham is not here. Okay, he has opened his, he has joined but not listening. Showdeep Sen. Sir, sir, acha, okay, you could understand. What about Somnath Pal? Somnath Pal, could you understand it? Somnath Pal? Anybody who could not understand it? Anybody who could not understand? So may I assume that all of you could understand it? Shubhadeep Bera? Shubhadeep Bera.
Yes, sir.
Could you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us now proceed therefore. So this is the relation, power balance relation. Okay. So obviously this relation holds good if delta Pg exceeds delta Pd or if delta Pg is less than delta Pd. On both the occasions, this will be valid. And since we are discussing regarding the variation in generator output, in response to variation in demand, obviously, in one step, generator cannot match the increase in power demand by the load. Okay, it will take time. It will increase its power output. As a result, there will be variation in frequency, variation in speed, and then in this process, finally, a steady state will be arrived. A state will be arrived at, and we have to actually develop a model. Okay, that will be valid for steady state as well as for the dynamic situation. To do that, we have written this power balance equation. Now, you know that in power system, any calculation we do, any analysis we do, we use per unit system. Why we use per unit system? Because if per unit system is used, then the calculation becomes simpler. Okay, because of the presence of transformer, you know that current and voltage level changes, current level changes, so impedance also changes. So to avoid that, obviously that can be avoided if you use per unit quantities. What we do in per unit quantities, in per unit representation, we represent some power as the base power. Okay, we declare a base power, and anywhere power appears, we represent that power in per unit. That means that power is divided by the base power. Any voltage is represented in per unit, that means by dividing it by the base volt. So this is the power balance equation. Say our base power is equal to the capacity of the generator. Because define our base power as the capacity of the generator, say PR. Okay, we are discussing about the representation of the generator, about a system where a generator is connected. Say that PR is the base power. So let us divide both sides. This is a power equation. Both sides we are having power. So this is a power equation. So let us divide powers by PR. Then everything will be in per unit. So it will be, when we divide it delta Pg by PR, it will be delta Pg in per unit, because PR is the base power. Delta Pd will be divided by PR, so it will be delta Pd in per unit. Then if you divide it by PR, it will be 2H by F0. PR will go 2H by F0 dgt of delta F, and B is in megawatt per hertz. So if you divide this by PR, it will be per unit megawatt per hour. That means B will be in per unit, because basically B is megawatt per hertz. So megawatt portion will be divided by base power, so it will be per unit megawatt. Okay, so basically now the unit of B will be in per unit megawatt per hertz. Okay, so this is the expression in per unit. Now, henceforth, everything will be in per unit, and to make the writing simplified, we shall be not mentioning PU any further. So whatever we are writing henceforth is in per unit, but we shall not be mentioning PU here, only to simplify or to reduce writing period PU. But remember that it is understood. It will be understood that everything henceforth will be in per unit. Okay. So if you do that, then skipping writing PU here, you and let us now apply Laplace transform on both the sides. This will be taking Laplace transform of delta PG, delta PD, then delta F, or rather dgt of delta F and delta F here. And let us write the expression for delta Fs, that means change in transform of frequency, as a function of transform of frequency in terms of delta PGS, delta PDS, and these things 2h by f0 and b. So when you write this and write the expression for del fs, it will be delta PGS minus delta PDS divided by b plus 2h by f0. 2h by f0 are there, you have b here. So all these things are written here. We have taken the Laplace transform. We have avoided writing PU here. Okay. So now let us rearrange this, rewrite this using the standard form for writing the transfer function, because the total system now, including the generator and load, will be represented by a transfer function. That will be transfer function of the power system. Means transfer function of the power system will include generator as well as load. So now we can write delta PGS minus delta PDS into KPS. Here, obviously, it is somewhat wrong. There will be first bracket, closing bracket, obviously here. Closing bracket will be here, and KPS is outside. KPS by 1 plus TPS, S times TPS. Okay. So here, first bracket, starting bracket, delta PGS minus delta PDS, the closing bracket here, then outside is KPS, but unfortunately here KPS is inside, but this is not the true. This first bracket will be shifted here. Okay, so this into KPS by 1 plus S time TPS. Now TPS is written as 2H by BF0. This has been replaced by TPS. This is the power system time constant. KPS is 1 upon B. This is written as power system time gain KPS. Power system gain KPS. So KPS is the power system gain. TPS is the time constant of the power system. And therefore, now you can represent the load and generator together as the power system. Load and generation, this basically forms a power system in this frequency control. Load and generation, because load is sensitive to frequency, generator has some role in the frequency control, in the creation of frequency. Therefore, power system, we can say that representation of power system will be representation of the combined representation of generator and load, and that may be done here by using this transfer function KPS by 1 plus S time TPS. S is missing here again, S time TPS. And in the input, we have delta PGS and delta PGS with a plus sign, delta PGS with a minus sign. It is following this relation here. Okay. Minus sign, and delta FS is the output. So inputs are delta PG, output is here on the load side, and this is the power system transfer function. Obviously, it is to be multiplied by S with TPS, and delta FS is the change in the frequency. Now, what you can do, since the power system has also been modeled here, we can now include represent the total system: generator, sorry, speed governor, turbine, then generator and load. That means the power system, including everything. This will be the total representation of the complete frequency control system. Okay, this is the complete system of the frequency control. Okay, where this is again written as Kp here. Kp means the power system. So Kp by 1 plus STP is the power system transfer function. Del Fs is the change in frequency. At the input of it, delta PGS is positive, delta PDS is negative here. So this is the transfer function of the governor and turbine together. In the feedback path, obviously this is the input minus 1 upon R. Delta Fs is the input from the feedback path, and delta PCS is the speed changer input. Speed changer command is delta PCS. Okay, so this represents the complete model for the frequency control analysis. This is the complete model of the frequency control system for power system. Okay, so now what we shall do? We shall then analyze these. We shall derive expression for frequency change in terms of delta PC, in terms of delta PD, because these are the inputs now. We can change the load, we can give power increase or power decrease. Come on, these are the only two input. Consumer may increase or decrease their demand, and at the power stations, the operator may change the give power increase or decrease command, and obviously the system frequency in response to load change, frequency will change, and as a result governor will operate on its own. Okay, so this will be then discussed. So I shall be stopping here today, and in the next class I shall be discussing this analysis, and I shall be developing some expression relating the giving you the steady state frequency, and then what can be done to keep the frequency constant. Throughout the operation, frequency will be constant, frequency will be brought back to the nominal value. How this can be done, this will be discussed in the next class. Okay, so until so up to this, if anybody of you are having any question, you can ask me. Let me know whether you could understand everything up to this or not. Okay. So if anybody could not answer any portion, could not understand any portion, then he or she may make any question. Then I shall try to explain that. Otherwise, I will stop here today. বুঝতে পেরেছো? Everybody বুঝতে পেরেছো সবাই?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Then is next class. Next class will be Tuesday. Next Tuesday at usual class at 11. Okay, at 11 o'clock, as we are doing every. Okay.